Namaste and welcome to this intermediate Vinyasa yoga class. We're going to begin today by lying down on a mat, so if you'd like to come into a comfortable Shavasana position. Take a moment to connect with your mat. Take a moment to connect with yourself and really arrive in this moment. Feel the connection of the entire back of the body with the mat and feel the earth supporting you and inviting you to relax into it. Use this opportunity to observe the body and notice, are there any pockets of tension that you can feel? Perhaps also take the chance to scan the mind and notice how it is feeling. Begin to inhale and exhale exclusively through the nose. And as you do so, notice how it naturally and organically starts to lengthen the inhalation and the exhalation. I encourage you now to intentionally begin to extend your inhalation, trying to fill up the abdomen as fully as possible, shrinking the belly rise, and then extend your exhalation, feeling that belly fall and emptying it until you can empty it in further. Breathe those long inhalations and exhalations and notice the effect that that has upon the body. Now bring your left hand to your heart center and place it directly on your heart, and bring your right hand and place it on top of it. Breathe into your heart center and feel the energy in that area expanding. Feel the heart rise and fall along with the belly as you breathe. As your attention is at your heart centre, I'm going to let you know the theme of today's class. And the theme from today's class is, I am worthy of my heart's desires. As you breathe into the heart, I shall repeat that again. I am worthy of my heart's desires. And as you lay here, I invite you to set yourself a personal intention, something perhaps connected with one of your heart's desires. And if you're not sure what your heart's desires are as yet, if you have no answer, then perhaps you can set an intention to promise to think about what is true to your heart during this practice. On your next inhalation, open the arms wide out to the side and let them fall onto the floor, and stretch out as wide as you can through the arms and hands. On your next inhalation, take the arms and stretch them above the head, leaving them in contact with the floor. Sweep the arms out to the sides, they go above the head, and stretch out fully through the side body, lifting the arms as far away from the top of the head as they can go without crunching those shoulders around the ears. Draw your navel back towards your spine slightly and gently activate that core, and as you do so, push away through your feet so that you're stretching the full length of your body. Feel free to alternatively bend and flex the feet so that you're starting to warm up those ankles. Take one last deep inhalation and stretch out as long as you possibly can from the feet to the tips of the fingers. And then exhale, release, leave everything where it is, but relax. We're now going to come into Banana Asana, and for this, leave your bottom where it is in the centre of the mat, but walk the arms and the top half of the body over to the left-hand side of the mat, and then walk the feet to the left-hand corner of the mat also, making a banana shape in the body. You can stay just here. If you wish to extend the stretch, you can take the right ankle over the left ankle and grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand. And breathe and relax into that stretch in the side body. Already feeling your heart lifting towards the heavens and filling up with energy. Now return the upper body to the centre, return the legs to the centre, take a moment to adjust there, then take the arms and the upper body over to the right hand side of the mat. The feet to the bottom right hand corner, and if you wish, cross the left ankle over the right. And take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Taking care not to lift your shoulder, left shoulder or hip away from the floor, keeping it all in contact with the ground, so you get a nice long stretch through that side body. One more inhalation and exhalation, and then return the body back to the centre. Now bend the knees and plant the feet onto the ground. Bring the hands down to the side of the body. We're going to come into some dynamic bridge flows. So as we inhale, we're going to lift the bottom and lift the arms over and above the head, taking them onto the ground behind you. And as you exhale, float everything back down to the ground. Inhale, lifting the bottom of the arms. And exhale, flowing back down. Now let's repeat that 5 more times, but flowing with the rate of your own breath. Slowing it down, getting a nice long stretch through the spine and vertebrae, reaching out the arms, and when you come back down, do slowly and with control. Keep flowing with your own breath, breathing in and out of the nose. Two more rounds. Feeling if you can lift up a little higher or stretch out a little bit further each time, and whether you can slow down the lowering. Wonderful. Now that we're back on the mat, let's stack the knees above the hips by taking the knees into the air and bringing them to a 90-degree angle. Now, take the hands and place them behind the head and pause for a moment here and draw your navel back towards your spine so that you can feel that core connection. Also take a moment to try and draw up those lower pelvic floor muscles so that you're activating the entire core. Now we're going to lift the chin and the chest away from the ground, lift the shoulders away from the ground, just to a slight hover, and pause here. Now as we inhale, we're going to lift up, and exhale, release it back down to a hover. Inhale, come up, exhale, release to a hover. Keep doing this at the rate of your own breath, following your own rhythm. We're building a little bit of fire in the core now, because in order to make our dreams and heart's desires come true, we're going to need a bit of willpower and determination. Pay attention to your core. If it becomes loose at all, take care to reconnect with it and solidify it to support you while you're building this fire. 5 more. Now lower everything back towards the ground. head and shoulders, feet and arms. Draw the knees into the chest. Take the hands behind the thighs. And we're going to take a moment to start rocking backwards and forwards along the spine, full length of the spine, warming up, and see if you can comfortably rock yourself up into a tabletop position. Now we're coming to tabletop. We're going to move through some cat and cows to warm up the spine and the shoulders and the hips a little more. So drop the belly towards the floor, extend the chin towards the front of the mat, lifting through the shoulders and through the buttocks. And then as you exhale, draw the navel back towards the spine, round the chin and the chest. And then move, following the cadence of your own breath, inhaling and exhaling. But as we're following our heart's desires, don't feel that you have to stay in a stiff and rigid position. And if you wish to move around at all with a cat cow, flow wherever you want to, wherever feels good and free and liberating in your own body. Two more rounds. When you come back to neutral, we're going to come into some baby chaturanga. So make sure your hands, not at all, make sure your hands are spread nice and wide. Walk your knees back a little bit. And then make sure your shoulders are slightly ahead of your hands. Now you can either leave the toes on the ground, or if you wish to increase it at all, you can cross the ankles behind you. Keep the shoulders tucked tightly into the body, and then we're going to lower down to wherever it feels comfortable to you for chaturanga. So hover it, and then bring it back up. We'll do 4 more of those. Core drawn in, supporting you and building some heat to the body. Drawing that heart towards the front of the mat when you come up. Exhaling slowly with control as you come down. Feeling the heart lift on each rise and feeling the support that you're giving to your body as you lower. Now this time release the feet and lower the front of the body all the way down to the mat. Head to the mat also. Leave the hands where they are, tucked in close into the ribs. And we're going to come into Cobra. But first we'll just do a baby Cobra as we're just warming up the lower back. So as you inhale, lift the forehead away from the mat, heart towards the front of the mat, but only raise a little. Exhale, lower down. We'll do that one more time. You may feel that your Cobra like this is by rolling your feet to about onto the pinky outside edge of your toe. Inhale, lift up. Try and keep the lower muscles of the legs relaxed. Exhale, lower down. Now release your hands and bring them down to the sides of your body. Palms face the backs of the palms, really facing the mat. We're going to come into lotus pose where we lift up through the back of the body, but we're going to do it in isolation of body parts first of all. So on the first inhalation, leave the legs where they are, keep the leg muscles relaxed, and just lift the upper body only, leave the mat, hands in connection with the mat. Breathe and feel the heart radiating out towards the front of your mat. One more breath. Exhale, lower down. This time, we're going to leave the head where it is, leave the hands where they are, and just lift the legs away from the mat. On the next inhalation, lift the legs. Try and keep the muscles of the lower back activated, and the shoulders and the neck relaxed. Release, lower down. This time, we shall lift the head and the legs together, but leave the hands where they are. So on your next inhalation, lift up the head, lift up the legs, feel the activation in the lower back. Leave the hands in connection with the mat just for this one. One more breath here. Exhale, lower down.
And then finally, we're going to do, as you were before, a complete flying locust. So inhale, hands, feet, head, everything away from the ground, lifting the heart towards the front of the mat, really surging and flying in the direction of your heart's desires. One more breath here, lift a little up, and then lower it all. Take a moment there to regain your breath. Then bring the hands back up in line with the shoulders. Take the left arm and extend it out to the side in a straight line. Tent your right fingers and then roll over onto your left hip and take your heel behind you. Bend your leg, bend your right leg and try and take that heel behind you. Only go as far as feels comfortable. Keep the head in connection with the mat. And then you should feel a beautiful stretch all through the front of the chest and the back of the shoulder. Only go as far as feels comfortable. If you feel any discomfort at all, then roll back from where you came a little. Feel the heart opening. Feel the breath expanding into the body. Relax into that spinal rotation. One more breath here, and then roll back to face the front of the mat. Take a moment to pause. Swap the arms. Extend your right arm out in front of you. Tense your left fingers. Bend your left leg. And roll out onto the left foot. Taking it over behind you. Roll onto your right hip. Beautiful. And then breathe there. Very nice. You're getting a spinal rotation, a heart opening, and a stretch for the shoulder, all at the same time. On the next inhalation, roll back onto the front. Bring the hands along the side of the body. We're going to push up into cobra one more time. Remember to keep those elbows winged into the body. Inhale, push into the hands, lift the head, the chest, the heart away from the mat. Exhale, lower back down to the mat. And then push back onto your knees and come back in, come into your first downward facing dog. That's a nice, long, downward facing dog. Beautiful position there. No pressure on the wrist, beautifully done. Now, as you're in your very first downward facing dog of the practice, pedal the feet out. Take whatever movements feel your body needs to release any pockets of tension. Really make the most of what you want to do in this first downward dog. Work out what your heart desires. Don't do what you feel you should do. Work out what feels good. Now, as you inhale, take your gaze towards the front of your mat and then come up onto your tiptoes and walk the feet to join the hands at the front of the mat. Take the hands onto the shin and lift up into halfway position and feel that nice long line of energy from the tailbone right through to the crown of the head. Release the hands and fold forward over the legs and then sweep the arms out and up to the side and come up into a standing position. Lift the heart up, gaze at the hands and then release the hands down into prayer position by the heart and then release them by your sides. I'm going to step back for just one moment because we're going to experiment with a pranayama practice here. You can say relax, I'm going to that's it's fine. Pranayama practice here called Vyana, which is a heart opening practice. It's a practice within which you send your loving energy out to the world and then gather loving energy back to the world from you. So take your left hand and place it on your heart, your right hand above it. As you inhale, sweep your arms out as far as you can and then hold the breath and imagine your loving energy extending all the way out of your fingers, out into the world, as if you're embracing the whole world. And as you exhale, draw all that love back into you. Inhale, extend and radiate out through the heart, sending your loving energy out into the world. Exhale, draw it back in. Now do that 3 more times, following your own breath.
Beautiful. Release the hands down by the side.
Then sweep the arms up above the head, bring them together in prayer. Fold through the midline, forwards and down to forward fold. Lift up with purpose into halfway position. Then hands to the ground and step back into plank. I'm going to, in this practice, be lowering the weight down to the ground and doing cobra, but if you prefer to do chaturanga and up dog, then that is entirely your choice. So lower down however you would wish to. Lift up into either up dog or cobra. Let's all join together in downward facing dog, making sure it's a nice wide expression of the pose. Now from down dog, we're going to inhale and bring the body forwards into plank. Stay, hands and feet stay exactly where they are. Exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, draw the navel towards the spine, arch the back, come forward into plank. Exhale, take it back into downward facing dog. Now keep flowing like that, following your own comfortable rate of breath. Inhale as you come forward, exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhale as you come forward, try not to drop the hips too far, that's it, just don't go down too far, stay in a high plank, that's it, and then back into downward facing dog. Inhale to a high plank position, that's beautiful, back into down dog. One more, inhale to high plank, back into downward facing dog. And lower the knees to the mat, so your tabletop position. Then swing your legs out to the front of you so that you're coming to sit on your mat, legs to the front. We're going to come into what's called baby wild thing. So if you keep your left leg straight, foot flexed, take your right leg and bend it so it's tucking almost as if you were in a tree but sitting on the floor. Now take your right arm and create a kickstand behind you. And then we're going to inhale and sweep the arm up above us and come up onto the knee. So just sweep the arm around in front of you. Just over your left leg, and that's it. Lift the bottom up in the air and then push firmly all the way through the outside edge of the left foot and feel the stretch and the extension all the way up the body perfectly, all the way shooting out to the top of your hand. Actually feel really beautifully opening and releasing all tension in the body. One more breath here. Exhale, release, and lower everything down. Swap over, keep the right leg out in front of you. Bring the left leg into the thigh. Left hand behind you as a kickstand. Sweep the arm across the straight leg. Come up onto the knee and extend through the body. Very nice. Push away through that heel of that right foot, I think. It's on the ground. Yes, it is your right foot. And stretch out. Feel that lovely extension all through the side body. Wonderful. Come back, round to the front, cross both legs in front of you, bring your hands to the mat and come back into downward facing dog. From here, move into plank, lower down into cobra, take vinyasa, come into upward facing dog, cobra up dog, then push back into downward facing dog. Take your gaze to the front of the mat, walk up to the front of the mat again. You can take lots of steps or just one. Inhale up into flat back position. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale and sweep the arms up above the head. Fold straight back down again through the midline. Lift up, halfway position, hands to the mat, step back into plank, lower all the way to the ground, lift up into cobra, come back to downward facing dog and take a moment there. From downward facing dog, take your left foot and stand and bring it to between your hands. Now, swing round and pivot up into warrior one. And that's it. Take a moment to place your hands on your hips and settling to make sure that you've got a nice, good, strong base through the feet. Heel to arch alignment between the feet, and make sure you're pushing firmly away through that outside knife edge of your back foot. You decide how low or high you would like your knee to go. Can you sink a little bit further into it? And then once you're confident with your base, take your arms out and sweep out into your best version of Warrior Two. Check that your arms are in alignment. We're going to stay here for a few breaths, building on that strength and stability. And see if you can call to mind your heart's desires again and stare out in the direction of those desires and how we're going to make them happen. One more breath here. Then take your left arm, place it on your left thigh, and then sweep your arm down and round to bring it up and lift that heart up to centre. Gaze up at that right hand and really feel that stretch in the side body. Draw the navel back towards the spine so you're working hard through the centre of the core. And on your next inhalation, release the arms, push firmly down into that front foot and then reverse that warrior. Feel the energy that you're building in the lower body. Feel the strength in your waist and feel your heart lift towards the heavens. Now release the hands back down to the mat, framing the foot, and then step back. And we're going to pause here in plank position. We're now going to take side plank. So bring the left hand to the centre of the mat, and then roll on to the outside edge of the left foot. Now, if this is too strong for you to have both feet on top of each other, you can either split the feet like that, or put one foot in front of you, or alternatively you can put a knee down to the side plank that way. Those are the options. Okay? So we're just going to lift up into side plank, lift the arm up into the air, and stretch out through the side body. Now release that hand back down to the ground, come into plank again. Pause there for a moment, and then put the right hand in the centre, and notice that my hand is slightly ahead of my shoulder, not directly underneath it. It's easier if the hand's slightly ahead. And then roll onto the outside edge of the right foot. Beautiful. Breathing and lifting up out of the pose as much as you can without diving into it. Roll back over into plank. And then lower the body to the ground. Vinyasa. Up dog, cobra, whichever you're taking. Push back into downward facing dog. Step, hop or jump the feet to the front of the mat. Lift up into a flat back position. Come into forward fold. Then sweep those hands, pushing through the feet, rooting to rise, up above the head, and release the hands down in front of the heart. Take the arms straight back up, bend through that midline into a forward fold, come into flat back position, step back into plank, lower the body all the way down to the mat if you're taking this variation, lift up into cobra, and then push back into downward facing dog. Take a breath here in down dog, and then this time step your right foot to the front of the mat, and then spiral the arms open into Warrior Two. That's it. You might want to, let's turn out to actually release the hands to the hips. That's it. Turn and make sure you've got a nice solid base through the bottom half of the body. Making sure your core is drawn back to give you some support and stability. Once you're happy with the base, then extend your arms out, gaze over that front arm, gaze into whatever vision of your dreams you can see for yourself. Bring the forearm down to the thigh, and then sweep that arm up above the head and stretch out. Try and tuck your tail under a little and draw your navel into the spine. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, as before, push firmly down through the ball of the front toe to lift back up into a reverse warrior. Feel the stretch out through the side of the wrist. Now release the hands to the ground, frame the foot and step back into plank. We're going to come into side planks again, but this time a slightly different variation. So again, make sure your hand is slightly ahead of your shoulder, and that will make it less strain on the shoulder. Roll over onto the outside edge of the left foot. Then bring that foot forward as a kickstand like you did before. And then lift up over the arm, but this time as you exhale, lower that hip down to the mat. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Let's do that 3 more times. Look back at the foot and the arm as you go. Wonderful. Last time, lift up. Return the hand to the mat, step back into plank. Let's do the same on the other side. Right hand goes into the centre. Make a kickstand, roll onto the outside edge of the right foot. And make a kickstand in front of you with the left foot. Take the arm over the head. And then as you exhale, drop the bottom towards the ground and take your gaze towards the back foot. I'm going to open the windows because I think someone might have turned the heating on. It's still become very hot to me. Very, very warm in here. Here we are. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Do it twice more following your own breath. Beautiful lift through the side body. Feel all that space that you're creating in the ribs. Last time, come up, and come up into plank, and then lower all the way down to the ground. Lift up into cobra, and push back into downward facing dog. Step the feet, or hop the feet towards the front of the mat. Lift up to halfway position. Fold forwards and down, and then sweep the arms out to the side, and then lower the arms down on the right side of the body. I'm going to close those windows because I can smell the paint, so I know that you're very sensitive to fumes. So I'll open the door or close the windows because I don't want that to give you a headache. It'll give me a headache as well if I'm completely truthful. Right. I apologise for that slight interruption. So this is the last round of that, so we're going to sweep the arms up above the head, fold forward through the midline, come up into halfway position with purpose, and then step back into plank, lower the body down to the ground, lift up into cobra, exhale back into downward facing dog. Again, we're going to step the foot through, the left foot through, and sweep up into warrior two. Turn the right foot out, turn the right heel out as you come up into it. That's it, perfect. Wonderful. Make sure that your hips are supporting your lower legs and your upper body. And then when you're ready, extend those arms out to the side. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed and softened and not around the ears. Take a breath here and extend out into the pose. And then as you exhale, let's place that forearm on that thigh again and sweep that arm up. Feel the extension in that side angle pose. Now on your next inhalation, sweep the arms round to come into a reverse warrior. And lift up through the body, but still keep that bend in the front knee. One more breath here. Release the hands down to the mat. come into plank position. And this time we're going to do the forward wild thing. So left hand to the centre to come into a side plank position again. But this time take your top leg and stand it just behind you. Right, so I like to, in order to get the side plank with the feet split if you would like, and then take the right leg behind you, yes, and then I like to get some momentum, drop down, and then sweep the arm round and lift up. Just sweep the arm in front of you, and that's it, beautiful, push up, that's it. Maybe stretch, maybe put a little bit more space between this back leg, that's it, there you go, lovely. Lift up the buttocks, look backwards, feel the heart pushing up towards the ceiling, and feel that beautiful side stretch. Very nice, you haven't done that before, have you? No, you're doing it very well. Wonderful, now come back down and return to plank position. So you slow down, roll yourself over, there's lots of movement for the feet and the hands in that one. And then let's do the same on the other side. Right hand into the centre of the mat, roll out onto the right foot, take the left heel behind you, drop down a little to get yourself some momentum if you like, and then sweep up and lift the hips high. Very nice. Very nice. Remember to relax the face, enjoy the pose and to breathe, pushing firmly down through both feet. Beautiful. Release it down and come back round to the front. And then we'll take our final vinyasa. So inhale, lower the body all the way down to the ground. Lift the head for one last time up into Cobra. Release it down. Let's use the knees this time to go back into downward facing dog. Our final downward facing dog of this practice. Head out. Take a moment to grab a few breaths here and really notice all that energy that you've created in the body and all that energy that you're taking in the direction of your dreams. Now bring the knees to the mat and we'll come for a moment back into child's pose. Take the heels towards the hips, the hips towards the heels, and the arms out in front of you, and take a moment here to gather the breath. Take a moment to check in with any intention that you may have set for yourself at the beginning of the class, and perhaps use this opportunity to give yourself a gentle reminder. Notice how the breath and the body feel now. On your next inhalation, sweep the arms up above the head and come up into a kneeling position. Take the arms down by the sides. We are going to come into camel pose, which we will try first of all, but before we attempt it, we'll warm up the body a little, shall we? So you can activate the heels, so activate the toes so that the heels are slightly closer to you if you wish. But first of all, let's make sure we're nice and warm up by left hand on the left hip and sweeping the right arm up above the head and then just rotating it round to that right heel. Try and keep your gaze forward. Lift the hips up towards the front of the mat. Lift the heart as well. And it's that lift that we're looking for when we go into camel. So inhale that arm back up above the head and bring it down to the right hip. Let's do the same on the other side. Sweep the left arm up into the air and then take the arm back, take the gaze with you if you wish, but then returning the gaze to the front of the mat. And take a breath or two here. Take the arm back to the hips. And now keep the feet, the toes activated, because for this first full expression of camel, I think it would be helpful to try. If your knees are tender at all,
only if I activate my
oh, okay, well then don't. If it's activating the knees, then don't. I'll join you in that case then.
So let's take both hands up into the air, making sure we're pushing the hips forward, lifting out of the chest, and then reach back for the heels. Once you arrive at the heels, try and make sure that we're lifting the the thighs as far forwards over the knees as you possibly can. Lift the chest. Don't let your head drop back so there's any strain on your neck at all. Breathe through the heart. Breathe through the front of the throat and feel all of that beautiful upwards directing energy. 2 more breaths here. Release and come down back into child's pose. Take a moment here for the back and the spine to reset. On our next inhalation, come back up to the knees, sweep the arms above the head to reach out to the side waist. And then let's reach back into camel for one more time. Pushing those hips forward, lifting that chest forward, squeezing those shoulder blades together, making sure that we're drawing on the full abdominal pelvic floor muscles, the whole corset helping us to lift up and bring the front of the body as far forward as we can. 3 more breaths here. Release and come back down into child's pose. How does your heart feel now? Does it feel freer to let you know what its true desires are? Come back up into a kneeling position and then sweep the legs out in front of you because we're going to come into a seated forward fold. Now there's a bolster by the side of your mat and also another rolled up blanket. I like to, in seated forward folds, to give a little bit of space to the hips and to sit on the edge of a blanket. Or the bolster. The purpose here is for us to try and release the lower back. We're not stretching the backs of the legs and the thighs in this version. So if you wish, so that it enables you to come further forward, and keep a generous bend in the knees, feet flexed, and we're going to inhale the arms up above the head and lift up as high out of the waist as we possibly can, and then hinge forward at the waist, keeping that extension, and then cup the soles of the feet with the hands. And rest here for a moment. Now inhale, lift up, extend that spine as much as you can, and then bend your elbows and gently lower wherever you can to comfortably release the tension in the lower back. Now keep moving with your breath, inhaling and extending through the spine, and exhaling and lowering as you can. And it can be very difficult sometimes to be honest about what our heart's desires are, not what we think we should do, not what we think we have to do or need to do to help others, but just honestly think about what we want for ourselves and for nobody else. It takes a lot of courage to admit. Right, now as you inhale, stretch out in front of you and lift back up. Lower the hands down, relax the legs, maybe give them a bit of a wiggle. We're going to do that one more time. So, inhale the arms up above the head, taking care not to hurt the glutes on the way. Stretch out to the side body. Lean forwards, pivoting at the hips. Still trying to grab those trees in front of you and then wrap those hands around the soles of the feet where they'll comfortably go. Even though we're doing a forward fold, really try and concentrate on the extension in the spine. Keeping that heart forwards and lifted even as we lower down. Again, extend and lower with the movement of your own breath. Now this time, inhale, stretch out in front of you again, and keep that stretch and extension as you lift back up. Release the arms down to the side. Take whatever you've propped yourself up on and move it out to the side. We're going to come back down onto the back and just return before we go to Shavasana. We're going to return to those dynamic bridge poses that we did right at the beginning of the class. So hands by the side, feet close in towards the bottom, as close as feels comfortable, that you're going to be able to move freely. And inhale, take the arms up above the head and the bottom into the air. And exhale, lowering everything down with control. Do that 5 more times, moving with the flow of your own breath. Now this final time, you have the option, if you wish, to bring it up into a full expression of bridge. Lifting the bottom high. You can, if you would want to, draw the hands together and clasp them beneath the back. Lift the bottom up. Lift the chest, lift the hips towards the ceiling. Draw those inner thighs together. Press down firmly through the big toe mounds. 3 more breaths here. Summoning up the determination, the courage, the confidence that you need to speak your own dreams freely. Now release the hands and lower 1 vertebrae at a time, ever so slowly, everything back to the floor. Now that we're on the floor, I'd like you to place one hand, your left hand on your heart, then cover it with your right. And I would like you to say out loud, at least twice, and then you can say it the remaining times in your head if you wish. But I'd like you to say it 12 times altogether, and I'd like you to repeat after me. I am worthy of my heart's desires. I am worthy of my heart's desires. I am worthy of my heart's desires. Continue to repeat that to yourself, either aloud or in your head. You can shout it, you can whisper, but say it to yourself 10 more times. Now for good measure, and 2 more times in fact with feeling, let's say it aloud. I am worthy of my heart's desires. I am worthy of my heart's desires. And now finally, let's take 3 of those Vayana breaths by inhaling, opening the arms wide out to the side, stretching them as far as you can to embrace the whole world. Pause while you send out your love, and exhale and draw that love back into your heart center. Take 2 more of those breaths. Now stretch out the legs, release the hands down by the sides, allow the legs to separate as wide as they wish to make your feet feel comfortable. Let the feet drop out to the side. Give the arms some space from the body if they like it. Just for one moment, open your eyes, lift the head and gaze towards the feet, and then release the head. Relax it down and close your eyes and come in to your final, let's say that final and most sacred resting place, Shavasana. Now take this moment to really call to mind and call to your heart your deepest and most sacred heart's desires. Allow yourself to process physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and energetically all of the love and energy that you have created for yourself in this practice. Allow yourself to release and let go completely into the love that you've made for yourself. Give every fibre of your body, every inch of your mind, and every ounce of your soul permission to rest and relax after all that you have done. Feel the loving energy as it courses around your body. Feel the inhalations drawing from the energy that is flowing out from your heart and taking it to every corner of your body, right down to the tips of your toes, the pads of your fingers, the top of your head. Feel that energy radiating out, washing your body with a loving relaxation, telling you to relax. Let your entire back body release and relax into the ground. Let your face relax. Let your tongue relax. Allow the eyes to soften in their sockets. Feel that space behind your ears release and let go. Feel your cheeks soften and become slack. Feel your entire body release and let go in a pool of loving energy that you have created. Now begin to deepen your breath slightly. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Bring your awareness a little back to the body and feel the body again connecting with the earth. And take a moment to acknowledge the support that will always be there from the earth. Bring some subtle movements back into your fingers, into your toes. And then for one last time, take your left hand and place it on your heart. Take your right hand and place it on top of it. And take a moment here to remind yourself of the intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of this class. Also take a moment here to think what you would like to take from this class with you off the mat and into the rest of your day or the rest of your life. When you are ready, and only when you are ready, roll over onto one side into a fetal position and make a pillow, forgive me, with your hands, your arms. Pause here and take a moment to thank yourself for the time that you've just spent with yourself and to be grateful to yourself for what you have done. When you are ready, come up into a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed as you come up into a seated position. Take your left hand, place it on your heart. Take your right hand, place it above it. Lift your heart towards your hands and join with me as we close this class with the unifying chant of Om. So let's inhale to prepare. Om.